Taoiseach, I wish to bring to your attention today the crisis in relation to the prices of fertilisers and what's happening to farming in Ireland today. This is the second year that Irish farmers will have to pay unrealistic, exorbitant, over-the-top prices for fertilisers that they have for the last number of weeks, and for the last number of weeks, Germany and other European countries and the UK are paying 40% less than our farmers for fertilisers. Example, they pay €500 a tonne for urea, while Irish farmers are paying €850 to €900. I thought that when we went into the European Common Market in 1973, that all EU countries would have a level playing field, especially with prices for goods and supplies. It has become very clear that we don't have enough competition in the fertiliser market. This problem began back in October, November 2021, months before the Ukraine war, and prices began to soar, and after Christmas and still before the war, prices increased further. And they wouldn't even quote, some of the co-ops wouldn't quote farmers. And last March, Kerry farmers couldn't get fertiliser for almost 2 months, as it was being held up by the distributors, 2 weeks, sorry, as it was being held up by the distributors and co-ops so that they could increase the price further. It's absolutely ridiculous that many co-ops won't actually quote farmers today for the price per tonne for fertiliser. Think of that. They won't quote the price. Or they will take it out to you or bring it to yourselves and we'll send you the bill after. It's very clear that the fertiliser distributors and suppliers are profiteering at the expense of our farmers. Yara, one of the fertiliser suppliers' profits are up 60% between September and December of last year. Mosaic, one of the leading producers, doubled its profits in the same period. The whole thing is rotten, Taoiseach, with farmers suffering and households crippled with increased food costs. Urea started out before it went up at 380 a tonne in 2021. Last year it was 1,000 a tonne, and it is still 900 a tonne now. The fertiliser companies blame the war and increased the cost of gas, and that the increased cost of gas was the reason for the increase in production costs. There has been a constant reduction in the price of natural gas of up to 85% since last September. Likewise, we should be seeing a massive reduction in the cost of fertiliser. Taoiseach, it is now becoming very clear that we don't have proper competition in the fertiliser market, with Gouldings, IFI, Grassland and Yara operating together. I'm calling for a high-powered investigation into what's going on at the national level and European level. What are the Competition and Consumer Protection Commission for? Is it a charade? Are they being paid for nothing? I mean, they're not helping Irish farmers, or they're not helping Irish consumers by the way they're letting this go unattended to.
Can Taoiseach, please?
Thanks very much, Deputy, for raising the important issue of fertiliser prices. And I think we all know that the price of fertiliser has gone through the roof in the last year or so. As you mentioned, some of that is linked to the increase in the cost of oil and gas. Also, the situation in Ukraine and Russia, where much of the fertiliser comes from. And I know the very high fertiliser prices have cancelled out a lot of the gains that farmers have got from strong prices for what they produce. I'm not aware of the details when it comes to the disparity in prices between Ireland and the UK. I will ask the Minister for Agriculture to examine that and see if it can be explained or what the reason is. I don't see why there should be a major disparity between the prices that farmers pay for fertilisers here versus the UK or other parts of Western Europe. What may be of interest to the Deputy is that there is some positive news for farmers in the announcement made today in relation to the Temporary Business Energy Support Scheme, the TBES. Farmers can and have applied for that to help them with the cost of oil and gas. And because that scheme didn't have the drawdown we expected, we're changing it, which means that more businesses, including farmers, will be able to qualify. More businesses will get more money from the scheme, and it will be backdated to September. So thousands of euros could be coming into farmers' bank accounts in the next few weeks because of the changes made to that scheme, which I think will be welcome. And also in recognition of the fact that a lot of businesses in rural Ireland don't use gas, don't have access to the gas network. There's going to be a scheme to help with the cost of kerosene and LPG for businesses in rural areas in particular that aren't on the gas network and use LPG and kerosene and didn't benefit from the TBES up till now.
You replied, Taoiseach, to deal with everything else except what I asked you to say. Do you agree to having an investigation, a high-level investigation into what's going on? That's what I'm asked to ask you here today, Taoiseach, because it's very serious. It's hurting farmers all around the country and in Kerry as well, of course, and most importantly. But it's also hurting consumers, because the farmers are not Mother Teresas, you know, and if they have to pay for fertiliser and exorbitant costs, that will have to be added on to the rest of their costs, and to the people and the poor people that are paying for food and have to put food on the table, to their suffering. So I'm asking you again, Taoiseach, will you have an investigation at the national level and at the European level? You're back and forth to Europe every day, and you're doing this for them and you're doing that for them. Now is your time to ask them to do something for Irish farmers, because they can't suffer the increased costs. I mean, why is it that we're paying 850 or 900 euros a tonne for urea? Germany and other countries in Europe and the UK across the water are only paying 500 euros a tonne.
All right.
You'll have to suss them out and see what's happening, Taoiseach.
Taoiseach, will you suss them out?
I will, and like I said earlier, I'll certainly look into the matter. I'll speak to the Minister of Agriculture about it this week. There might be a good reason for it, but I don't understand why there would be a big disparity in what Irish farmers have to pay for fertiliser versus those in Germany and the UK. So we'll definitely have it examined. In terms of a CPC investigation, it would be up to them to make that decision as to whether they want to investigate or not, but we'll certainly have the matter examined. And I do take the Deputy's point. High fertiliser prices feed into higher food prices, and that's higher cost for everyone. If we can bring down the cost of fertiliser, that benefits farmers but benefits consumers in our towns and cities as well.
Thank you very